So we just talked about generating random numbers. How can we use that generation to create interesting programs? So I've changed my program a bit from the previous video. I now have a generate world button. And when I click the generate world button, I want to create a world, and I want to determine what the weather of this world is going to be. Simply because I used these pictures previously, so I figured I'd use them again. So I want to create maybe a cloudy world or a rainy world, or maybe the weather is sunny in this world. Either way, I want it to be random. I don't want to hard code it. I want to randomly generate this world. So let's go back into this button where we were generating a random number. Previously, we were generating a random number, and I want to create three options. I want to create a sunny, a cloudy, or a rainy. So I'm going to generate a number between 1 and 3. Now I'm putting a 4 there, remember, right? Because it's not going to include 4, it's going to go 1 less. So this will give me a random number between 1 and 3. So I can't use the computer to generate a random option between rainy, sunny, and cloudy, but I can use these numbers to basically simulate that. And I can do that by setting up an if statement. So that is what this unit is all about, or this next section is if statements. And an if statement looks like this. An if statement is a way for your computer to make decisions based on some type of condition. And you put the condition inside these brackets. So what are we doing here? I am generating a random number between three options. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. So if the number I have randomly generated happens to be equal to 1, I could say, well, that means the world will be sunny. I'm saying a random generation of the number 1 correlates to, as far as my program is concerned, making a sunny world. So if the world is sunny, if the random number happens to be 1, I have a picture box on my form that I didn't rename. Bad programming. I'm going to change that picture box, and I'm going to change the image of it. And I will put it to a picture of a sun. I've also got a label down here with no text in it. So I will say label output.text equals this is a sunny world. I don't know, something like that. I have created an if statement. This if statement will check if the random number is equal to 1, and if it is, we make a sunny world. Now this isn't the only condition. I'm generating a random number between 1 and 3, so I still have to tackle cloudy and rainy. So if I have multiple conditions to check, I can attach an else if. And an else if works the exact same way as an if statement, except it just lets you check more than one condition. So random number might not be equal to 1, it might be equal to 2. And if it's equal to 2, I'm going to say that this means the world will be rainy, this randomly generated world. So I'm going to show a picture of rain, and I'm going to say it's a rainy world. And lastly, I have a third condition. And that condition means the world will be cloudy, I believe. So if the random number is not 1, if it's not 2, it could be 3. And if it's 3, I want to create a cloudy world. So this is a very, I don't want to say simple, because it's interesting stuff going on, but this is a very classic if statement branching, combining multiple conditions, letting your computer make a decision. So let's see how this works right here. So if I run my program before my laptop dies here, when I click the button, yes, I am generating a random number between 1 and 3. And based on what that number is, I have created a world. Let's see. So I must have generated a random number of 1 because 1 meant sunny. Now, just for demonstration purposes, let's click it again. Randomly, I got 1 again. Another click, I got 2 for rainy, 3 for cloudy, 2, 2, 2. And you can just keep clicking this as much as you want. And you have basically set up a situation where you've generated a random number, and based on that number, you've given your program meaning. You've made that number change the program based on what you want it to do.